Okay, hi. Hopefully there's someone watching. I have no idea how this works. Um, my name is Ashley, and my Instagram name is Frilled to Death. I don't know if some of you have seen me around or not. And I also have a Etsy page where I do nail art called Frilled to Death Nails. It's a play on words like thrilled to death, but frilled to death. I'm going to say a little bit about me because I'm sure that a lot of people don't know who I am. I am Ashley. I'm 32. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. This is actually their play area back here, so this was the best place to also set up my nail area. I joined the fashion probably 2010-ish. And probably I was into sweet, like over the top sweet, and sold everything that I had by like 2012 and returned to the fashion 2020. So here I am, and I'm going to show you guys how to do some nail art today. And I've already painted, hopefully you can see this. I've already painted like the base colors of the nails. I would assume that most people know how to paint a nail. I am painting an artificial nail. I used to do my natural nails, but with 2 kids, like they're breaking all the time. So I do wear artificial nails. So these are like ones I've done. And I have a couple different shapes here. So I'm going to preface this with I do use gel nail polish. For years, I did nail art with regular nail polish, which you could totally do all of the designs that I'm going to do today with regular nail polish. You do not need gel. But I find gel like a lot easier to work with when you're doing nail art because you can cure it with the UV light in between steps. Where with regular nail polish, you're waiting for each step to dry. So it takes a lot longer to do nail art, in my personal opinion. When I used to do nail art with the regular nail polish, I would have to like sit it out overnight to get it to dry enough where I could do like the next step because I was putting it on pretty thick. Yeah, so as far as supplies for nail art, whether you're doing artificial nails or your natural nail, pretty much everything you can get on Amazon or a beauty supply store or somewhere like you can even get stuff at like Michael's. So my mom actually did nails for like 20 years. This is back in the day. Now she works for the government, but she did nails for a really long time. And back in the day, she would go to a Michael's and get, which is a craft store, and get all of her brushes. So like the brushes that I find that I use the most when I'm doing nail art, let's see here. You're definitely going to want like a liner brush, which I don't know if you can see. It's just a really fine tipped, long brush. I actually trimmed about half the bristles off that to get it even skinnier because I wanted to do, when I do stripes and stuff, of the brush being like too wide doesn't work. I usually use a brush like this. Where am I? There I am. Which has like kind of like an angle to it. I use this as a cleanup brush, which I will show you how amazing gel polish is because it's so easy to do cleanup on. And I usually use a dotting tool for like 90% of what I do. I use dotting tools, which let's see if I can get it to go in focus. I have all different sizes. I probably have about like 8 different dotting tools. You would not need any of that many, but yeah. Let's see. So one of the things I want to mention before we get cracking is that, let's say with gel, so these are cured already. I've already put them under the UV light with just the color. Let's say I go to do like a stripe or make a little line and I mess up. I can wipe it off with rubbing alcohol and it'll take the nail art that's not cured off and leave the layer that is cured. So if I were to like, I'll actually show you. Let's do one. So for my paint, for my art, I actually use the backside of a palette, and you'll see why I use the backside because I like to have a flat surface because I'm frequently dragging a brush through it. This is just rubbing alcohol, like like isopropyl alcohol, whatever you want to get, that will take like the uncured polish right off of the nail. But if it's already been cured, it does not wipe off. So if you've already stuck it under the UV light, it's on there. So I put a little bit in here for like my cleanup, but I will put some polish on there. A brand that I really like that's pretty affordable is this Beatles Gel. I use this for a lot of stuff. This is another brand that I really like, and they're pretty affordable, and they're actually really nice. Like they go on really smooth. I must have shut this with great strength because it's hard to get off. Okay, so I'm just gonna put, I like to put like a fair amount just like on the back side here. Seems kind of wild, I know. And then let's say I was gonna go start to do some little Starburst design, and I went on here and it was like boop, boop, and I was like, oh no, that's not where I wanted that at all. I have a little cotton pad with some alcohol on it, and it just literally takes the art right off. So just keep that in mind, that you can make mistakes, and that's totally cool. Yeah. So I think I want to do some spooky designs for you guys today, and let's get some white. Hopefully you're able to see this pretty well. I will move the nails up closer as I paint them to the camera. I had to rig this with my ring light, so yeah, it's been a crazy day for me. Our town is really small, like think farms everywhere and horses and things, and everybody drives a truck. We have one time a year we have a thing called Color Fest, and there's like, I think it's like 200,000 people come to our town, so it's essentially like our town's Super Bowl is what they call it. And it's been really hectic outside today. I took my kids, and just an interesting day. And then to squeeze in a panel was a fun thing. I had to tell my husband, I was like, I gotta go get ready. Okay, so I think we should start with something really fun, like a spider web. Before I do line work ever, I like to run the brush through the rubbing alcohol, because it kind of like gets the brush into formation. You don't want to have any like bristles that are just kind of like sticking out. Okay, we're gonna do not this white nail. Let's do. So if you are ever working with artificial nails, you can get these little stands online, and the nails stay on with putty, like adhesive putty. Okay. Sorry, I have really shaky hands, which is ironic because I like to do nail art, but I do not have a steady hand for the life of me, so that's fun. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get in a more easy to work position here. So when I start with a straight line, really there's no trick for this other than practice, practice, practice. It's the straight line work is the hardest thing out of all of the nail art I've done. I don't know if you guys saw in the ads, I had posted some pictures of previous work, and I had done a set of nails that were Iron Gate themed. And when when I started doing them, I was like, this will be so fun and so challenging. And then about like 3 hours into attempting to paint Iron Gate, I was like, this is a lot harder than I imagined. But you know what? I did it, and I thought they looked pretty good. So for straight lines. Sorry, I'm trying to have my hands not shake so much, but I'm nervous because I've never done this on camera before. We're going to go about it from the midsection. So I'm literally just dragging the long brush from about midway on the nail. It's going to be hard to see for just like a second, but I'm going to drag it from the tip up to meet my line. So I have just like a white line down the middle of the nail. The glare is really bad from my ring light, so I'm going to try to turn it. It's okay if it's not super even, because you're going to, usually when I'm doing like a spider web, I'll do layers. So I just have a line right down the middle, and I use the liner brush to do that. So yeah, I put all the paints I want to use on the back side of a palette. I mean, you could use like a plate. It doesn't have, it just needs to be something that you don't mind getting some polish on. I do like using this plastic material because I can wipe this whole thing with the alcohol and it takes all the polish off, so you're not ruining all your belongings. Yeah. So again, I'm just dragging it through, picking up some paint. You can always like do some practice lines on your palette there. Okay, so sorry, I keep kicking the ring light. And I'm wearing a giant petticoat, so that's also hitting the ring light. I don't typically paint nails in my full outfit, you know. It's more like sweatpants around here. And I'm going to do one kind of off to the side. So now I'm just doing one off to the side there. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. It's a lot harder when I'm worried about a camera seeing it, because when I'm just doing it with just me, I can hold it at like the most awkward angles to get it. So now you see I just have 3 basic lines. Kind of looks like a little foot of some sort. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and cure it. So I like to cure it with just the 3 lines starting, because let's go ahead and do more lines. I just changed my mind. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 more lines, I think, because with this shape of the nail, I can fit 2 more. Sometimes when the nails are really narrow, like the coffin shape, I can't fit as many lines, but I think we should do one here. And we can fit one more possibly over here. Oh, need more paint. All right, so now I've got 5 lines. Had to count this. It's been a long day. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it under the UV light. And I wanted to actually show you guys my light before I do that. So, you know, when if you've ever been to a nail salon and they have like a giant lamp for your hands, you can actually get a little travel light. It was just a couple bucks, and you can literally, it doesn't take up much space. So if you want to have a light for nails but not take up a lot of space, you can get a tiny travel light. Okay, let's put ourselves back in. Sorry, this is probably a really good view right now. Okay, so with the UV light, I usually hit it twice. So I think it does it for about 30 seconds. So I'll hit it once, wait for the light to go off, and then I do it one more time to really get it to cure. I like to cure it so before I do like all the little lines of the web, I'm not going to mess up the like basic frame of the spider web, if that makes sense. Makes it a lot easier because this part's harder. So if I mess this part up, I'm not wiping off the rest of the spider web, and it gives me like a good frame to work with. Just waiting. Yeah, it's a lot easier when I'm not using, like, not worried about the camera viewing me, because I'm holding everything at a really awkward angle, and usually I use the table to brace my hand, but there's no way for me to get the ring light over there. It's kind of awkward, but I'm making do. Normally I'm pulled up to the table completely, and I have both arms completely like on this giant table. But for the camera's sake, I'm kind of off to the side here. Okay. See if I can get it any closer. Sorry, it's like a very awkward spot for me to have a camera. But I'm trying. Okay, so when I start with the spider web, I actually start kind of like at the top here. I don't really start at the bottom. It really doesn't matter where you start, as long as you're kind of like following the same idea here. So I make them a little curved. I don't go crazy with it, but I'm just kind of following, and I'm going to stagger them as I go downwards. So let's see. You can see that I've started to like make the little webs. So right now I'm bracing my pinky on here, which makes it a lot easier. But yeah, honestly, just practice makes it easier. I haven't been doing this very long. I mean, I started making nails for myself. I used to live in, you know, a city, and I could go get my nails done, and I would go, you know, every 2 to 3 weeks and get my nails done. And then I moved out here, and there's nothing. Like, there's no, we don't even have a Walmart. We have like no major stores. There's not much. We have a couple restaurants, which is pretty cool. It's actually like the talk of the town right now is like how we're going to grow as a town. We have the people here, but we don't really have a lot of economic growth right now. There's a lot of farmland, so there's lots of talk about farmers and selling their land to make room for more houses versus businesses. It's all very interesting. My husband's actually running for commissioner, so we've been campaigning like all week and all day today. So it's kind of an extreme difference than what I'm doing right now. Okay, so if you can see, I've made the little web. I usually like it to go about halfway up the nail. So like you can see on the ones I've previously done, I started at, these nails have been on for like 3 weeks now, and they're still going strong, which people often ask me, like, because I wear press-on nails, they're like, how long do they last, you know, because I guess they've had a bad experience with press-ons. But the key to getting a press-on to stay on is all in your application. So while this one's curing, I will tell you how I actually put on my press-on nails, so that if any of you ever want to wear press-on nails, you can get them to last a little longer. Okay, that one's drying. Ooh, whoops. Okay, so when I'm putting on a press-on nail, I make sure that my nails are completely clean, like no leftover polish, no dirt, no nothing. And then I use a buffer or a file, depending on how much I want to do. And I lightly, this is totally optional, but this is what works for me, so don't quote me on this, but I buffer each nail so that it's a little textured. I'm not like shredding layers of nail, but I do buffer them a little bit so that they have like a little bit of texture to them. And then I have found the key to like making this last the longest is to dehydrate your nail. They sell nail dehydrator and products like that. I just use rubbing alcohol, and I do it on every single nail, and I let them dry completely. And then I apply my press-on nails with just nail glue. A really good brand of nail glue is this Kiss Maximum Speed one. Oh, where am I? There I am. This Maximum Speed one. It dries real fast though, so you have to make sure that you have your nails on straight as you're going. But yeah, that one is awesome. When I sell sets of nails, I sell it with, it comes with a kit for application. So it comes with rubbing alcohol. It comes with a little file for you, and it comes with your glue. So everything you need to put on your nails, it all comes with that. And I also put a little instruction sheet in there. It reminds me of woodworking. I've never done woodworking, so I have no concept. But yeah, so that's how I get my nails to stay on for so long. I mean, they're grown out because they've been on for a few weeks now, but you can see they still look super shiny and they've held up great. And I can undo, like, they're not breaking off when I do the car seats or the car handles and all that stuff. One thing that you can do if like you want to try press on nails but you're not like wanting to commit, they actually sell these little adhesive tabs, which I might start making as an option with my little nail kits. But they sell adhesive tabs that allow you to wear the nails for just like a day or two. They're like little, kind of reminds me of those like 3M strips. You apply the adhesive tab, then the nail, and then when you're ready to take them off, you just like soak them kind of in hot water. You want to heat up the adhesive, and then you pull the tab, like everything comes off because the adhesive has warmed up. Or you get them wet enough that the adhesive comes off. So I haven't ever tried the adhesive tabs personally, because I like my nails to last for like a couple weeks, because I started doing these in lieu of going to the nail salon. Anyways, let me get our spider web. Okay, so that guy looks pretty good, I think. And now I would just hit him with a top coat. So this top coat I like because it's so thick. I like really thick top coat because I like my nails to kind of look thicker. It makes me feel like they look less like a press-on nail and more like I got acrylics done. Like when I just had a dentist appointment this week and my dentist was like, "Your nails are amazing." And I was like, "Thank you. I painted them myself." And she was like amazed that they were press-ons. She thought that they were like acrylic tips that I had gone to a salon. With the top coat, I'm pretty heavy-handed with it. You obviously don't want to go so heavy that it doesn't, cure, but I do like to get a nice even coat, hit the whole nail with it, get the little edge there. And then I'm going to throw it right back under the UV light. The top coat is awesome because it gives it like a nice even surface. It's no longer like raised where the web was painted. Okie doke. So that's a spider web. Like same exact steps if you want to start from the top. I always start with that middle line. I always start with the middle line and then work my way out, and then I do the inner parts of the web. Okay, so I have a bunch of other nails we can do. Nail art is time consuming. That's why I signed up for a full hour. So I'm going to try to do a few more designs here. What should we do next? I think I might do either a mummy, like I have a mummy with eyes. We could do him. Or I could do a moon and some starbursts. I really like doing the starburst, so I think let's do some stars. Because they actually work with most things, not just spooky nails, in my opinion. They work with all nails. Like if there's a nail set I'm going to do, I usually try to bring some moons and stars into it because I'm like, that goes. That's my fave. All right, let's do... So we do offer a couple different shapes of nails. My favorite is the almond, which is what I'm wearing. How come I can't ever find the camera? Almond nails, they're kind of like pointed, but a little rounded and not too long, not too short, in my opinion. Short oval, which is this one right here. So it's like a little bit shorter than the almond and has a rounded edge. This middle one is a coffin-shaped nail. It looks kind of wide because that's like the thumbnail of the set. The other fingers are more narrow. Again, short oval and almond. And then I do offer stiletto, which is kind of a pointier, longer version of the almond, if you can imagine that. But I didn't prep any of those. Okay. So just want to make sure your brush is, like, every time you use a brush, you want to make sure you're completely getting all of the paint off, which is why I use the rubbing alcohol. If you're doing regular nail polish, you're going to use nail polish remover to get that off, but you're going to want to make sure that it's completely off. Otherwise, your brushes get kind of like gunky and they don't do as clean of lines. Okay, so Okay. For some reason, now I can see everybody's comments. Yay. Okay. So for the moon, actually, I'm not wanting to use that. I usually try to just get the shape out, like kind of framed out, and then I will clean it up and get it looking sharp. But I kind of like to just kind of like frame it out a little bit. I went to college many moons ago, like over a decade ago, for archaeology, but they didn't offer archaeology as a degree by itself. I had to do fine art. So I did studio art and archaeology. So I do have a little bit of an art background. So yeah. I don't claim to be good at it though. I just enjoy it. And I'm not an archaeologist now. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I did go to school for it. Okay. Right now I'm just putting like where I want the moon to land. Let's try this little brush. I'm going to use a small angled brush. Kind of looks like this guy. It's like really tiny and angled. Almost reminds me of like a lip liner brush. Okay. I can't find the brush that I normally do moons with, so bear with me. I need a tinier brush. Majorly tinier. We're going to get real tiny with it because these brushes are all too big. I'm actually going to use my cleanup brush to start cleaning this one. So when I want to clean something up, I just dip it in the rubbing alcohol and kind of make sure it's kind of smoot together. Don't want any bristles like flying out, which of course it just did as I said that. So you can just, I want to make sure it's like flat. Start cleaning it. Where did my tiny brush go? Here we go. This is probably incredibly boring to watch. I don't know. I listen to podcasts usually when I'm down here working on nails. I don't get much free time during the day to do this. Obviously, I have 2 kids that are insane. A 2-year-old and an 8-month-old. And I was getting ready tonight. I couldn't find any bobby pins to pin my headdress on because someone, I'm assuming a 2-year-old, decided to take my bobby pins. Oh, it's okay though. It's usually a lot easier when I know there's people not watching me. Starting to look like a moon. Not perfect, but looking kind of moony. Yeah, kids are chaotic. Like they wake up and choose chaos every day. I'm like, it's 6:30 in the morning. My son still wakes up 3 times a night, so we're usually up at like 12:30, like 2:30 or 3, and then we're up again at like 5. And then my 2-year-old is up for the day by 6:30 or 7 at the latest. So no rest for the weary. I don't love how like not clean this looks. I want to fix it up. I'm kind of a perfectionist and also not at the same time, if that's an option. All right, let's keep an eye on our time here. I don't want us to run out of time. go ahead and do some Starburst. So when I'm doing the Starburst, I start with a, where am I? There I am. Dotting tool. I usually like to use this kind of medium tiny one. And I just kind of dip it around in the paint. I like to do, like, on these larger nails, I like to do like a couple Starbursts. Not the candy. Like if you were to see a beautiful twinkling star. And let's start with that many. So then I get that crazy long liner brush that I showed you guys earlier. I'm gonna dip it in some of the rubbing alcohol. And I kind of like put the tip of the brush in the black just to kind of remind it what we're doing here. And then so I have my 3 dots on here, and I'm gonna drag it. I'm gonna poke it right in the center of the dot and then drag it straight down. Hold up, let's do a little practice line. Sometimes if I can like see that the brush looks a little funky, like maybe a bristle's out of line, I'll do a couple like drags of lines because I'm not convinced that it's ready to do it. Okay, so I've just taken the brush and I drag it down from the dot. Again, dipping it in the paint, polish, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna go to the side. So get that same dot. You're basically making like a big plus sign. Well, I messed up. Okay, so this is a good example of how to use your cleanup brush. So with the cleanup brush, I just dip it in the rubbing alcohol. I don't want it super wet, so I just kind of dab off the excess on a cotton swab. And then I'm gonna wipe what I just did right off. Okay, that's better, kind of. Again, I'm gonna run that through the black. The bristles are all over the place right now. There we go. I'm going to watch this back and be like, wow, my hands shook the entire time. But that's okay. That's just who I am with the shaky hand. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with this dot. Why am I so crooked? This is not working out in my favor. This is like the Instagram versus reality, because on Instagram you see like perfect painted nails. You don't see all the bloopers. There's bloopers. I'm just cleaning up that dot, and then I'll bring it back over. Okay. Round 10. Any questions so far about anything? I don't like the Starburst to touch. When did I get into nail art? Well, like growing up, I didn't really ever do my nails. My mom always had like the really long, like talons, like kind of curved and they're really long, and they were always like neon. And she always had like bright blue nail eyeshadow. She always was like done up real good. I mean, she like had a cosmetology degree, and she did nails, and I always loved that. But I definitely got into makeup first. I did not get into nails until much later in life. And when I started going to get my nails done, I would just get like nudes, kind of boring stuff. But at some point, I just kind of like got into, it could be because I'm interested in, you know, J fashion, that I got into nails because I always saw cool nails. And I was like, I want that. When I first started doing nail art, I did a lot more like gems and things that you could glue on. Now I'm more into like hand painting all of it, which is a lot more time consuming, but it's almost therapeutic to come down here at night when everybody's asleep and crank out some nails. Okay, so I've done like 3 Starbursts. Okay, let's try to find the screen. There we go. Just did 3 to start, and then I usually like to take the really tiny dotting tool, which went somewhere. I'm gonna take a moment to clean up my brushes because I don't like them sitting with anything on them. Yeah, but I'd say when I got back into the fashion, I pretty much started doing nails for me to like complete my coord, and I would do like, you know, pretty basic ones. And now I started doing them to match my dresses, which is my fave thing. Like if you have a print you really like, I do take custom orders to match your favorite print. So like I have the mealtime JSK that has the like spoons and forks all around. So I did like a set that has spoons and forks and things, and also black and white stripes because it has little bows on it. So then if you hear my Roomba come on at some point, it's trapped under the couch and it keeps saying, please, it's like, please find me and return me to my thing. I don't know how to get it out. So it's going to stay there until my husband gets home. I usually like to dot out around the Starburst I just did. And I dropped it. Okay, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Yeah, I like to dot out like a bit around the Starbursts. All right, I'm going to throw that under the lamp. Okay. And after, thank you. That was my favorite set, the mealtime one. Let me think of the next design. I did like, I don't know if you can see these, but I did like a spooky release this week. So these ones were like spooky eyes. And these were supposed to be stitches, but they kind of came out looking like teeth, which I'm a fan of. And then like gooey, ooey, dripping neon. And these actually glow under UV light. And I did, these ones are already packaged up, but I did like moons and bats, stripes and flames and things. This one seemed to be the most popular one of the release, which was like a simple, spooky one. These are my little kits that I put them in, so it has like my logo and comes with glue, and all the things are inside this black folded piece. There's like a nail file and all that. Yeah, this is my favorite one I did, I think. Okie doke. Let's try. Yeah, it does look like Beetlejuice. That was the vibe I got. Should we do like a flame one? I don't know. Is there any requests for anything spooky? Let's check our time. We have a little bit of time. Bats. Okay. Let's do a bat. I think I heard someone get home or jump down off the couch. Could be my dog. Whoop, this Mac cannot connect. Oh no. Hopefully you can still see me. Okay, so the way I did the bats, it was my, stop, it really wants to not connect. Okay, there we go. When I did the bats this week, it was definitely my first time doing bats. Bats are in my top 3 favorite animals. I don't know if any of you follow like Bat World Sanctuary on Instagram, but it's my favorite page to follow. They have the cutest bats. Unfortunately, like 2 of my favorite bats there passed away this year, but like old age though. My family just got home, so if it gets loud, I'm sorry. Okay, so when doing your bats, you're going to want to do the head first. At least that's what worked for me. And I just use the dotting tool, and I'm going to make a tiny, tiny dot. Okay, dot it up. I'm going to like kind of like frame out where I'm going to put the bats by putting dots. I'm just going to do 2 for time's sake because I talk a lot and time is flowing away from me. Okie doke. I'm going to use the really, really tiny dot. And let's see, which one's tinier? This one? No, this one. Okay, sorry, talking to myself. You want to kind of frame out the wings, which I'm going to do like up to a point, curve it down, curve, curve, curve. It's how I've drawn bat wings since I was like 5 years old, and I still do it that way, and I'm going to keep doing it because 5-year-old me knew what's up. Let's see if I can get the right angle here. Okay. It's probably really, really hard to see. Let's see how close I can get to the camera with it, like trying to focus. Looks like a blob on the screen. I promise it's a wing. They're just so tiny it doesn't like want to pick up. I had a feeling that would happen because I'm using an iPhone and a ring light, but hey, let's go over it this way. So I'm going to clean these up a little bit probably. Maybe not for time's sake. I want to make his little ears. I don't know why he's a he. He's not really anything other than a bat to me, I guess. Let's go with the tiny dotting tool, and I just kind of like drag 2 points upwards. Let's see. Okay, time check. Okay, so now he has like, it's so hard to see on the camera, but maybe you can see it. He has 2 little ears and wings. And you can like go back in and kind of make the little points more pronounced so he looks more batty, if you like. And I'm going to do this guy. Boop. Too much paint. Thank you. Yeah, bats are pretty fun to paint. I don't know. We have a wildlife preserve like 10 minutes from our house. And they have like a huge bat habitat. It's really fun to go and check out the bats. My daughter is always, when she leaves them, she's like, bye, bye. And she waves at them. And I'm like, yeah, so cute. Just glad she's not afraid of them because I know a lot of people are afraid of bats. Yeah, they're just precious. I like bats and I like lemurs. Lemurs are my other favorite animal. That wing is a little odd. Let's see if I can fix that top part. Okie doke. So now I'm going to make his little ears. Oh, I'm like completely off the camera. Sorry. I keep getting further away. I'm sorry. I'm not used to doing it on camera. I did film myself once this week doing it, and the whole time I was like, I look like that. And the answer was yes, I do look like that. Yeah, it actually, the wildlife preserve was actually a snake farm in the 60s, I want to say, 50s and 60s. They had like all these species of snakes, which they have now turned it into an actual wildlife preserve. All right, so I did 2 little bat guys on there. On the other nails I did more starbursts around the bats because what goes with bats? My bangs, this wig. Okay. I don't know if you can see him very well. Bats, bats, bats. Let's stick that under the UV light. So we've done bats, moons, stars. We did a spider web. I think we have time for like one more. Did the bats eat the snakes? They did not. Although I think they found like a 7-foot, it was like a reticulated python in the, we have like a state park here, and they transferred it to the preserve. I don't know how that got there, but yeah, that's a fun fact. Any other requests? I like to do like flames and like blood drippies. I could do blood drippies. I just want to make, we have like time for like one more. But I think what I'm going to do is like regularly film some art with the camera better positioned, and I will throw them on my Instagram for people that want to kind of learn their own. Some blood is nice. Let's do that. Yeah. Oh wait, because I know not everybody can afford a set of nails. I do try to price my stuff really affordable. I went around the internet looking at what other people price their hand painted stuff for, and it's a lot cheaper than going to get your nails done, and it's actually like more art than you usually get in a salon. Let's do some drippies. I kind of want to do orange, neon orange drippies. It doesn't look super neon when it gets on the camera for some reason, but it does glow in the dark. It's like a UV neon. All right, so I'm going to do a quick wipe of, let's take the white away. So again, I'm just using rubbing alcohol, and it takes it right off because it hasn't set under a UV light, which is why, again, I work with gel and not regular nail polish, because if we were working with regular nail polish, it would just be so messy over here with all my mistakes. So I like to get a good amount and just plop it on there. And then I like to get, again, my dotting tool. It's my fave, if you can't tell. Let's go ahead and throw it on one of these short ovals. Yeah. So I just pick up like a fair amount of paint to start. And I start from the top of the nail. Just kind of like start with doing like these odd squiggles. And I want the bottoms to kind of be the thickest, because that way it looks like a drip. I just had to check to make sure I'm actually under the camera. I keep going away from the camera. I'm sorry. I will be filling in between the blood drippies after the fact, but I start with just making the blood drippies. If my hands were like not so clammy and shaky and nervous, I would have a way easier time at rotating this. Yeah, that's okay. I'll throw one on the side here. Okay, so you see I have kind of like 4 gooeys. I could probably throw one in the middle. Will that be too many? Maybe. It might be too many. No, let's do it. We can always get rid of it. Yeah, he might be getting rid of. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so then I just kind of like want to fill in between all the drippies. Like you can see I've made these little ooey gooey drippies. And just kind of like framing out where I want it to go, and then I'm going to fill it in with a brush. I like to fill in between all the goops. And then I would hit it with the UV light once, and then I actually go over the entire thing a second time with another layer, because you can see when I use the neon polish, it doesn't look neon, but I promise it's like fluorescent on my end. It's a little translucent, transparent. You can see through it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I do a couple coats of that one, and that also makes it a little raised, so it actually looks like dripping. Yeah, so I'm gonna hit that with the UV light. And yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? Thank you. I feel the same way. Always a little concerned. Oh no, my son is crying. He's with my husband. I think I might be the preferred parent when it comes to my 8-month-old. All right, these are almost cured. So our spider web is done. That one has top coat. I think that looks really good. So again, I do the straight line portion first, and then I hit it again with the liner brush. Honestly, your liner brush and your dotting tool, in my personal experience, have been the most used. And you can honestly, I mean, if you're not against Amazon, you can get a pack on Amazon for like $4. You can also get nail art supplies at a place like Sally Beauty, or you can get brushes at Michael's. I can't think of any other craft store names because I only have a Michael's near me, and it's like 45 minutes away. So I'm gonna hit this one with some top coat. Any questions about the nails in general or press-on nails? Or about me and my crazy life? Yes, I used toothpicks for like the first 6 months when I was just doing nails for myself. I was using toothpicks and regular paintbrushes, like from the art store. Yes, I actually do plan to add a square shape because it's like the only shape my sister will wear, and a lot of my friends wear square. So I'm thinking of that will be my next addition. I've just been slowly adding shapes. So if there's shapes out there that people want that I'm not offering, I do take custom orders, so I can always accommodate. Yeah. I think we're almost out of time. I think we have like 5 minutes left or something like that. Let's see. Yes. So hopefully this was interesting to some degree. I've never used a dip powder ever in my life, nor have I ever gotten a dip powder done. My mom gets dip powder every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and she swears by the longevity of it. But I've never had a problem with gel, so I haven't like gone out to seek it out because I've had a good experience with what I use. But I'm not against it, just never tried it. Again, I'm like super new to doing this in general. Like, I mean, I've always painted my nails, but I never did nail art. I did more like paintings, like actual paintings. And I did like 2 giant paintings in our living room, and my husband was like, "These are awesome. I had no idea that you could paint." I'm like, "I really can't, but I enjoy it." I sew a lot, so I used to have an Etsy for years where I sewed like wallets and tote bags and things like that using vegan leather. Um, and that was really popular. And then it got to be kind of too much because I took on so many custom orders that I no longer wanted to do it. So with this go round of a side hustle, I've been trying to just keep it fun. And so far it's been great. And I've really enjoyed the few custom orders that I have gotten to do for people. Especially like doing the ones where I match a dress. And I'll do, they're not all black and spooky. I'll do other designs too. I've done like neon and florals, and I did like the retro wave that's pretty popular right now. Yeah. Okay. Any last questions? This has been really great. Sorry if I was like not in the camera for 90% of it. I've been all over the place. So this was my first time doing a panel, and I also like I don't use my computer for anything. This is my first time opening it in probably like 10 years. So I'm glad that the computer worked and the camera worked to do this. And thank you for watching. I'm sorry if it was boring. I tried to keep it fun. So here's that one finished with the top coat. I think it looks pretty fun. And this one just needs top coat still, but you can see that the like drips are erased, which is what I was going for, kind of like a thick textured look, because that way it actually looks like it's dripping. And then this was our bats, which I would add more to this nail, probably like stars or moons or things like that. I really want to throw stars and moons on everything I paint. Yeah, of course. Thank you guys. And you can check out my Etsy if you want, or add me on Instagram. My regular Instagram is Frilled to Death. The nails account is Frilled to Death Nails. And you can check out my Etsy and check out my spooky collection that I dropped this week. And again, I always take custom orders if you want to do nails that match a specific dress or pattern. I'm happy to do it. Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome.